clutch moments, or he'd be able to bail his team out in pretty dire circumstances. And I don't think I've seen quite that same flair to him on Fnatic, albeit they're more. Actually, not in the past few months, not really. They are going to be aiming to play tougher opponents than that Double Pony team really had on a consistent basis. So they're maybe looking more long term, and that doesn't always have to rely on body. But he is, I mean, an important piece to this roster. And I do want to see some of that individual impact, some of that individual flair that has been absent as of late.
If body doesn't work in this team, the whole project is flawed. That is the reality. He's maybe blame F individually, and Afro and Matty's are the individual centerpieces, but body is the brain of this team. And okay, let's look at the setup of Fnatic. 4B, 1 mid, and Nertz, who was presumably meant to be a lurking, distracting presence, has just circumvented the entire map.
But they're not peeling. They're not leaving to go make use of Nertz's clearance of that A bomb site. They're waiting for him to flank what is a fully reinforced B setup.
I don't actually hate it, because it's like yes, you're going to run into a lot of numbers, but it's a known quantity that Nertz is going to find frags. First found, but he does need a bit more, and actually, only one might not be the easiest of breathing room. I think you're right, Michael. Maybe they made a mistake here. Tezes finds 4 in seconds to rid us of our concerns. Tezes just bailed them out of a world of questions.
Yeah, I could see what the painting you were, or rather the picture you were painting.
They might not have thought it was literally. I mean, it was 4B. That is extreme. They probably thought it was a mid setup or something.
Yeah, and they would have been concerned if they tried to go through rugs and there was just 3 bodies in canals, for example. I understand what you were putting down, but yeah, Nertz definitely was expecting more than just that 1 kill. It's all fine. It all worked out in the end.
Yeah, a 4K from Tezes makes a lot of rounds look good. Okay, just an eco from Fnatic. What loads going on?
Yeah. Another very silent start.
So something... I don't actually know the exact veracity of this, but I think I'm correct that so Fnatic was an open qualifier team into this, and I believe every partner team will get an invite straight into the closed. But it must mean they made a very late team.
Or they were superseded in the invitations.
Correct? Yeah, you're probably right. I actually don't know if in the invitations a partner spot takes precedence over ESL World Ranking. I don't know. My assumption would be it does. But don't hold me to that. And
yeah, that's tournament admin's discretion. We're just told to talk over the game. Exactly. In which there was little to talk over in round number 2. USPs didn't get too much. So a couple of kills, which is nice. It will keep them modest here on Heroic as they build on a successful pistol. Now, Heroic were quite tricky with the way that they deal with 3D Max. They just defaulted every round and counteracted all the aggression that French squad tried to pull together. Those close ties with Afro and Body. Maybe they'll take a lesson away from that previous experience.
Heroic's gonna go. They're ready to go. 2 in dark. 3 outside of main. Blame F has picked it up 2 times to come over, but he's already lost one of his teammates. Tezes absolutely plucks Body from existence. Blink and you miss that take. They didn't stand a chance.
So, first gun round. First kill, fine. That'll happen sometimes on your attempt to hold the site, but the just lack of reaction from Glyph with that flash in hand, that, to me, would probably warrant a timeout, or at least a discussion while they're saving about making sure the comms are clear, because it didn't seem like Body was aware at all just how close they could be. Or just how far they could get out from main.
A very underwhelming first gun round. Unless you're a Heroic fan, in which case you're reveling in how easy that was.
There's just a weird air to the first 3 rounds. It's been very slow, kind of quiet. And then we're just getting this quick flurry, and then the rounds are done before they even really get going.
Odd pacing.
Yeah.
It'll calm down. There'll be some more of the push and the pull. Find one Counter-Strike. As the information battle is played out. This time, well, fnatic's thrown these Canal take nades. It's only Afro trying to make use of them. Tezes.
Okay.
I'm not sure he was planning to play it like that.
Did Afro see him? Was he just on the edge of the smoke that...
He must, I think he saw a foot. I mean...
Must have been.
You're not spamming that.
It was 2 on point. But they've just given up all the A-side space. Sure, Util will drag them over, but they got an opening kill, and they just give up A. And Nerds will happily take the space.
Flamef's gone in mid. That's one of the earlier rotators, and... Now Crims has had to peel to help mid. So there's nobody near the A site proper. Kixen is another re-smoke. And thank God they found Shush.
This is another save. They don't have kits. And
I don't know what's going on in this game.
It is quite...
They got time. I mean, there's going to be 5 seconds. No. They don't have time.
Yeah, this is so perplexing. Again, it's another one of these lack of engagements. I mean, we get a kill through smoke, and then they get into the bomb site, and it does feel like the round just is given up like that. I don't understand the decision there from Fnatic to just give up everything. Oh my god, those kills from Nerds are disgusting. Just a singular burst, and he found 2 headshots. I am confused.
So it was a half buy round save, so I wonder if that, you know, when you're on a lesser buy, your inclination is to play a bit more risky and like, oh, we're gonna show the rifle A, we're gonna kill nice and play like an AWP, we're gonna rotate it out and move it, and it's like, well, that's all well and good, but you gotta leave somebody with eyes on A, right?
Someone just keep tabs at the very least. Yeah. An interesting start to this Anubis. Or rather, to this series as a whole.
The closest Fnatic made the pistol round. And even that one was funky. They just haven't been in any others just yet. What is going on here? Tezes goes through the smoke. Body collects 2. And now with 2 points of contact to shoot at main, you'd have thought it's going well, but Body swings out to his detriment. Smoke just kind of re-blooms in time. Kixan is getting heavily tagged as to readjust his plant. It will indeed go down, and Kixan can just readjust there onto Glyphy.
Knowledge on 2 as well in deep CT, but they'll have to be conscious about the prospect of a flank. Dexter is that man that guards into B main. The AWP of Afro venturing further. And for now, no one looking for that flank. Crims executes on his kill, and it's Kixen fighting from jail that finds good timing. A following kill into main would certainly seal the round, and BlameF just like that. Sure, he gets the trade, but there is no time available. Even if he had picked up that kit, it is too far away. Heroic, skin of their teeth. They get 5.
That felt like such an awkward afterplan for Heroic. Ooh, if fnatic had anybody coming from dark, I'm not sure those spots would have played out very well. But they did not, alas. Kind of a dream start for Heroic. I mean, sure, some of these rounds are going a little bit close, but they're on the T side. They can brunt some losses. They're already up to 5. This is fnatic's pick. And obviously a map, as we saw earlier, that... well, actually, earlier, it was a T-side mauling, wasn't it, from Heroic? It was CT that was a nightmare.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a trend. They are very attuned to this T-side.
I just think the way that they're winning these T-side rounds feels so non-standard. Even I'm sure by their own experience. Get 2 kills, win. Get 1 kill, or even lose an opening frag. Walk the site, and it's clear. It's far from ordinary. Like you said, they will be happy, more than pleased, with the way that this game has started. Even through all the wild shenanigans that have taken place already. Fnatic took the timeout, being 5 the worse. But also maybe just to screw their heads on straight.
Yeah, we'll see as this half and game develops if, particularly on the defense, Fnatic, maybe their style is to play a very proactive CT side and take some risks, and you always run the risk if you do that you're going to make 2 or 3 bad decisions on the trot and look a bit silly. Could be an explanation. This round though starts well for Fnatic. Afro in mid gets an opener, reallocates himself to cameras, and now she's going to reaggress and give more space back into mid.
Ooh, it's the leg onto Tessus in that mid lurk. It's trying to aggress. The flash timing is beautiful, but able to turn in time was Crims. So it doesn't go as poorly as it looked lined up to be. Dexter. Oh, wow. Okay. Spots an elbow. Mattis was inside of the smoke, waiting for the fade. And they know that Mattis is inside of Con. They're trying to force this fight, but with Shush losing that, Tessus on 18 HP, chances are next to none. First round after the timeout is Fnatic to get engaged on this defense.
Money's hardly stellar. Maybe Nertz to drop. What has Nertz dropped? He dropped an orb. Oh no, he's backed out of that. I think honestly a Galil and an AK drop is the move. They're desperate for rifles. They're his teammates. See how the money shakes out. Quick discussion of A, what you're gonna buy and how this round will be approached. I'm sure there's that much you can adjust off the loss in the previous. I mean, you just got caught out by that mid move and always playing from a deficit.
Yeah, for them it was kind of an absence of presence from Fnatic in mid, and they have walked into a few areas of the map uncontested, but they walked right into the Afro AWP. You know, there was very little presence shown, but that's exactly what the AWPer wants you to think. So mid-util once again for Heroic, but postured up for a B-side burst. They'll make use of the kicks in Mach 10, see if they can get some ground quickly. They've got nades pulled here on the Fnatic side. The flashes are good, and they will be able to run down Mattis. Back at the bomb site, though, in from Glyph. Body still just fighting for his life. The SMG building that space. The last bullet for Body gets himself a 3rd kill in defense, and Crim's there on the rotate. Leaves it all on Nertz. Starman for Heroic just gunned down at the pillar. It is a masterful hold there from Body. Had to save their bacon on B.
That's more like it. That's more like it. What a trifecta. That 3rd kill, last bullet, was something to behold.
Yeah.
And, well, it's Heroic to try and change the pace, force an earlier ending themselves. Work this time. Now they're on pistols.
And looks like they were content on fighting towards Con. Double swing out from it. Or, I mean, there's only the one Deagle in Nertz's possession. So he had a chance at it. But this looks like a good read on the economy here from Fnatic, holding on to a lot of their util. They are willing to challenge on some of these fights, and as much as that can work against you at times, you also can't play totally in fear of it.
Okay. Well, I think obviously didn't have the best start to this half, but they're kind of en route to make good, at least. Being a competitive scoreline. Oh my lord.
Oh,
okay.
Dear.
Maybe we should pay attention. That's also 2 rifles, actually, too. The bomb will get planted. Now, there is no body armor, which is, as we all know, when you're facing rifles causes problems. But if you remove the AWP already... Oh, no. 1 Deagle, 4 Glocks, and a Fnatic. They're already saying no. There's only one word for that. Catastrophe.
I do not know what is happening on these holds. I mean, Body got that smoke down Con and then doubled up backside of B. Nothing to force him away from that connector fight. He dropped that smoke. Heroic walked right into it, and maybe he's expecting that to be a timing and a risk that Heroic weren't willing to take, but they had so little in their possession that they wager he would not play the other side of it, and they were right on the money.
I just feel like Fnatic should never have been that badly blindsided. It just... How we... It's been the whole game, frankly, hasn't it?
Yeah, that was
it's normally like... where are people playing for information and then dropping a molly in response to something? I mean, how are 4 Glocks and a Deagle getting that close to the site, getting 1 Deagle kill and then just going and swarming the other player with no early warning system?
It just feels absurd. It's so uncharacteristic to what I would expect on Anubis. And I understand CT side is hard, but it's not supposed to even look like this.
No, it's meant to be super scrappy fights as you try and hold the site. And but that's with the caveats that we're trying to load the site with numbers, getting information.
Yep. Maybe they blow a smoke or molly you out, sort of funnel you into fights. But Heroic are just waltzing into areas, and it feels free in a lot of different ways.
Okay. Shush has fell. Tezis has a gap. Lurk smoke. Oh, playing between these mollies takes 1 tick. Nobody's actually looking right at him. Matty's obviously is completely exposed. Nertz, in the meanwhile, walks in A and plucks Crims. There is a lot going on both sides here. Keep an eye on the minimap to follow the lurker. And for now, Tezis is unchecked. His position only is going to come stronger. He just needs his teammates to hold for 10 seconds, and he's going to win this round.
Whatever they can do to stall. There's a fresh... enough smoke down at camera that they threaten the boost, but the longer they look for this, the more likely it is that Tessus pulls off this backstab. They drop off that boost. First kill is free. The flash is beautiful, and Body's blinded. He gets blindsided all the same by that flank, and Blame F gunned down at Bricks the same. Heroic finding a cute solution. Just sometimes you can rely on just Nertz to find an entry, and by God, did he do it on that A bomb site. It unraveled the whole round.
You're gonna have 3 maps to this as well. They all play in that fashion on T side, and Nertz on all 3 maps is going to be in position to make those sort of moves.
But is it not absurd? They had that lurk smoke down. They thought about it. They boosted.
Yeah, I really. I mean, the most nuts thing to me was the thing that actually wasn't punished. Was Matty standing with a nade out, just holding a grenade. It's like, bro, you could get swung at any second here. Your first contact to connector, essentially, because of the lurk smoke.
But they never cleared it.
Oh, what a disaster half of fnatic. They when they're playing against that full eco, the one deagle and Glocks. I mean, that is the moment where they get back into it. You know, they get up to 3 to 4 rounds, and it's, you know, at least give yourselves breathing room. We're into territory now that they're running out of time.
Yeah, feels like I need a miracle to spark up some of the CT side. That on the Deek's not terrible. Wow, Kixen just journeys the smoke. Okay. I'll have to hand it to Kixen. You know, I don't think all of this is just masterful calling, but he has called a good game that is just exposing these glaring weaknesses for fnatic.
I mean, throwing obviously the game earlier as well. What are they up to now? That was a 9-3 T side, I believe. So,
yeah.
At the moment, he is 17-5. And, you know, been some shenanigans, but those should average, the craziness, the luck as it was, should average out as your sample size increases. All the better. Body. Forced to drop this util.
What a liberty. Kixen just runs through to canals, runs into connector, and goes unpunished. Doesn't take a lick of damage. And forces util out of the hands of the CTs. Afro will have to do more of the same as well. Molotov out. Smoke down to allow his escape. It's still 5-on-5, but it's hard to say that this is comfortable for fnatic. They aggress into B main, and Shush has found one. Good news is there is a trade, and that's a lot of information to play off of. Something that fnatic have been absent of in prior rounds.
Only if you use it, they need to rotate. Afro, teammate Co need to buy time. The Molotov hold CT player, territory terrorist player to bay for a moment. Kixan comes through the smoke. Afro. How does Kixan get the kill and not see Afro?
I don't think he actually came all the way through.
He just sort of pre-fired the corner. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a funky Counter-Strike in this game.
I mean, may as well go for it, right? I mean, you've got so much money
no
here.
reason to save. You've got all the money in the world.
Yeah, and Mattis is on an island. He's playing as defensively as he can from Temple. But BlameF will move into a position where he might be able to get eyes on that site, where Mattis is playing more for position. Deep pick, AWP ready, and BlameF legged. Matt is able to slide out and get Kixen all the meanwhile, but a tap on that bomb, not a commitment to the plant itself. Matt is swung out with his knife, and Dexter will move to try and hold his AWP instead. I mean, the extra damage on that round is going to have repercussions here for fnatic.
It's going to force some fam-eye. Oh no, they're going for the MP9s. Don't blame him, the FAMAS is painful to use. We've learned the hard way over the years.
It's better in CS2, but it's the nades for those MP9s that really sees the most value.
Kixan is a man possessed. He doesn't respect any util from the CT side, and he's taking so much space individually. I can't overstate, you know, how much I know he hasn't found any kills here, but he's applying so much pressure. He's hauling over information. Now that Nerds is this frag, they can now play off each other between mid and A and have some interplay.
It just feels as though Kixen is calling from a luxurious position where so much is working. It's about limit testing and see what won't. Dexter solo hunting out from B, but Kixen has found his kill through mid, and they have found access towards that A bomb site, but they don't have that bomb. You are right on point. Mattis encroaching from behind, and she'll see that he has the package, but as he relays that info, Tessis takes his head clear off.
I think a more experienced player might have stopped the moment they saw the bomb. Mattis will regret how that one panned out. Heroic looked primed to make it another 9-3. Kixan just needs to stay alive, get the bomb down. Was issues with this retake and be all she wrote. Kixan actually is going to be.
He's such a menace.
That is just unfair.
They are still hunting the Phantom, the after image of Kixan, but he is so damn fast. He is right behind you. Blame F gone, and he caught a whiff of body too. Kixan's just being elusive, a nuisance, never traded, no hope. He calls a masterclass on this T side. Heroic 9-3. Let's see if fnatic can do anything to show themselves in the server. It is a day of removing contenders in the Intel Extreme Masters Rio European Close Qualifiers. And at the start of this game between fnatic and Heroic, it may have been the strangest half of Counter-Strike I've watched in a good long while. A very strong T-side from Heroic, and fnatic need to really flex those muscles and show why they picked this map into the series, lest it be another decision here for Heroic to just show dominance in the lower bracket.
A muted start for fnatic, you might say. But this time they've chosen the right side. Let's go. Anubis coming in. Shushes. How is he not dead? I can't believe it. His teammates are swinging straight through. There's a lot going on, but for the moment, a flurry of frags fall the way of fnatic. All the Fs out here. Tedders comes back with 2. Nerds over the smoke.
What?
Makes it another. 4 kills in 4 seconds. It is a bar brawl. A cage fight as they trade blows. Crims, the only man that can save Fnatic's flushes in this one. No bueno, no connection. This game continues to be carnage.
I can't believe how this is happening to Fnatic. They get all the kills they could ask for, breaking into that A bomb site, and then blink, you miss it. Like you said, 4 kills, 4 seconds. Suddenly, I mean, Crims is just left in a terrible position. So much time was still on that bomb. He knew they wouldn't stick it the first time, but he had to peek at some point. This has really not been a map to comment on for Fnatic. I don't know what more you could ask for. The execute worked, you got
Mirage.
to the bombs.
Right, we're going.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? I mean, I would say online Counter-Strike sometimes turns out strange results, but I think that tends to be for the elite level teams that are used to their LAN environments. These guys have played quite a lot of online CS. In wake of their recent changes and obviously ranking slipping for both of these teams. It'd be just like this game though, to win a force buy and flip it right back in that direction at the moment. Heroic are actually in such a terrible position. I think they should free stack a site with these guns.
Oh, I'm never willing to count them out. Tessis has got one, and Shush swings to bail him out of that position. Smoke down main, so hard to really back up. Body inside of Con, but he wins his fight. That flying Shush, not quite enough to finish off the job. Both players are low here for Fnatic, but Dexter is one and the same. They tuck tail and run to that A bomb site in hopes that they can beat him there. And Dexter yet to move off of his mantle on B. Once this goes down, it's very unlikely that Dexter will commit to this retake. He won't know just how low these players are. And he knows he won't have good position for it either. A good call to call it quits on that B take.
Needed to. I wonder if one of the dead guys was shouting at the others saying, guys, you don't need to go for this. We've seen enough players here that we can reroute. We know A can't be that heavily defended. Okay. Well, another completely bonkers round. This time it goes the way of Fnatic. Now, of course, these force buy wins are so ruinous to the defense that this actually is Fnatic's best route back into this map, was to win this round. So we'll keep tabs. It's the scoreline obviously is glaringly bad at the moment, but survive this force buy and that gap will close.
Wonder how tall a task that will prove to be. Feels as though danger lurks around every corner when you're facing Heroic. Shouldn't expect a lot of resources out from this Heroic side. The force buy would have been anticipated. But if you can bleed util, it just becomes pistols and armor running at you. Maybe that one rifle saved over. Of course, Shush does have that MP9, which can be difficult to hone down. But they are probing, and they do find Tessus. Molotov forcing him into an awkward exchange. That B bomb site will be ripe for the picking. It does seem like that will be the finish. Kixon is in behind them in connector, however. They have journeyed past the smoke and con, and so Afro could gift a gun right over. Galil attained. Kixon is such a disturbance, and Nertz has found his kill in middle too. They've got a man advantage. Sure, bomb is being planted on this B bomb site, but they are armed and dangerous.
They were certainly saving outside of Kixon, I'm sure of it. Kixon has brought them into this round. 2 to find, buddy up. SMG goes first. Matty's awkward exchange.
One bullet. That's all he's got left, and he hits it! Nertz floored by the one tap of Mattis. He didn't have time to reload, but he didn't need it.
This is entertainment.
I can't believe it.
Finally, at least in the last couple rounds, I mean, every 50-50 situation on this map up to that point had gone the way of Heroic. So it's nice to see that the calm is leveling out. Wow. Can't imagine what it's like to be playing this game at the moment.
Probably surreal. And not the man from Endpoint.
It's true, actually. I have seen quite a lot of funky games in my time.
I don't doubt that.
I'm a world expert in messy Counter-Strike.
Oh! Well, Flame survived the hail of bullets on 1 HP and then almost naded himself out of this round. But aside from that, this is going fine for fnatic so far. No presence A, and so it'll be a plant and a 6th round guaranteed. When Kixon flanked them canals, I just immediately thought of the play he made at 3D against 3D Max at the very end of regulation. Man made it out with a 4K, and I thought it was going to happen again. Okay, well, nicely done.
So until I see somebody accidentally stop defusing the bomb, I can't declare this the craziest stuff I've ever seen.
Fair.
If you're wondering, we lost that map. Inferno was going quite well until someone who shall not be named stopped defusing the bomb. in like a 5 versus 0 or something.
That is
Can't remember the exact scenario, but definitely there was no T's alive. Sure of it.
Hey, it's not just G2.
No. Alright. Third timeout dispensed from fnatic. They have a quick discussion. How they want to approach this round. And walk for Degster. I do think over the CS I've seen so far today, and maybe over this qualifier, it's still Degster that's... It's got more to come.
Sure.
I still haven't seen beyond a couple rounds the player this man can be.
Well, you're not going to see it this round either. Didn't have an AWP, that's why. But he just gets destroyed by Mattis. And they're pushing forward into this B bomb site, and it is completely unguarded now. They have killed everyone in defense of it, and this should be an instant decision to save. No point trying to make up for lost territory and lost gunfights, but it'll be a long time to try and hold on to these guns. The only fear would be spreading out too far.
You can count on your hand the number of rounds where the bomb site is mounted. Even a decent defense today. It's not gone well, has it?
Yeah. And you did preface, and rightfully so, Heroic did have their troubles on this map earlier on this CT side, so... As much as we would have been... we're a little critical of fnatic on that CT effort. Heroic are no saints themselves.
It's time yet. They haven't flown the whole half. For those that weren't around earlier, it required a massive round from Nerds, a massive round from Kixan, and Divine level Fortune to win that map.
Yeah, hopefully they haven't had to cast the same spells to close out on a 9-3 advantage.
Yeah, it's costly. That level of blood magic takes it out of you.
Well, aggressive controlled smokes here from Heroic. They did have these 2 retained rifles and have bought some things around it. Armor at least and some util on these pistoling players. That forward play from Shush does net him that opening kill. Timing could work out as well out from Temple, but Afro was there to cover, and BlameF will not only get his kill camera, even venture as far as the Temple, very aggressively hounding down for what he thought were just pistols around the other side. That Deagle only needs one. Tessus has his hands on an AK and has sectioned off this bomb site for fnatic. Got a Molotov down, a smoke as well. They are playing isolated, but fnatic have to be very wary. And they will be.
The only chance. They were so... I mean, Nerds and Tezes were so convinced there was a mid lurk. Or at least concerned with the presence
Sure.
possibility that they never could get on the same page there. It is sort of a saved into half by this round, so certainly didn't expect fireworks from Heroic, but a little bit nervy at times for their adversaries, but no. 3 alive. The 8 for fnatic. They got tremendous bank as well behind them. They can win this.
Yeah, they almost certainly can. It will just take a lot of muscle. And for them to also stop players like Nerds or Kixan from performing some heroics.
Second pause. Another discussion for Heroic. I dare say whatever happens from here, they'll be doing a watchathon of CT Anubis demos to try and work out what is going on. And as we've said throughout today, you know, you're not expected to win the half on Anubis, but you're expected to make decisions that give yourself a chance. You're expected to make reactionary moves that could win you rounds. And that's actually what we haven't seen that much today. Is sure, you know, CT shouldn't be coming out on the half on top, but they should be giving themselves that opportunity in a lot of the rounds. And I'm not sure that has been the case very often today.
It also feel like they missed a massive opportunity with them coming into the second half 9-3 and then winning the pistol as well when they probably had no business winning it in the fashion they did. So this 5-round streak for fnatic is applying and fanning the flames of what could be a glorious comeback.
Ooh, you got that triple nade onto mid. Nobody home, but it's a nice idea.
Just swapping responsibilities, going back to a 3-2 setup where that ult can maintain action over to mid. There's a lot of presence being thrown by fnatic, but no actual bodies being sent out into B. It is middle where they have their focus, and so Kixan will come back over in support of Dexter.
I think the CTs soon feel very compelled to make a move. Now they will, I'm sure they will. Nerds has been pushed off. Body's tucked on the right-hand side. Nerds,
No flash.
might not expect this. He's looking the wrong way. I think he's a dead man. Peasant is nearby, but trade is going to be very difficult. And, oh,
Wow.
that smoke... I wonder if that smoke was thrown before Nerds died, because that hasn't helped anyone.
Yeah, Tessus can do little to find a trade, and he is that sole defender now. But he hides himself at the pillar and hopes that they go unchecked, but they were ready for it. Matt is there to secure that round, and once again, it's a finish on B. fnatic will bear the fruits of it. Crim's even hunting for these weapons so early, and he'll get both of them. Dexter ill-prepared for Crims to be so aggressive, so they get away with nothing.
Yeah, I think a plausible guess is that Nerds asked for someone to smoke behind him as he walked out to kind of mask his move, but obviously never made it that far because that just didn't look right to me. You obviously want to trade the player in the corner if you can. Okay, well, another pause for Heroic. They've burnt these in such close succession. It's not a surprise. This buy might be asking too much to go in for it. Just you know, you're already struggling. Do you really want to go ahead with 3 MP9s or whatever this would be? I don't think so.
Yeah, it'll be a half buy. See whether Nertz can actually push himself into the spotlight with this solitary M4. An interesting route there from Kixan, but Nertz tried for a kill from Con after there to plaster him against the wall. So that one rifle is out of reach for Heroic.
As we saw earlier, it was the star power. It got Heroic over the line, but those stars have been muted. Just can't get engaged. Always, you know, Fnatic are spacing well for trade. They're grouped. Their extremities players are making it difficult on every occasion. And I think, honestly, Heroic are practically playing for overtime already, because you have to win. You have to win every round you win. It has to be a gun round. And if you lose one, you're probably on pistols. So yeah. it's so hard now to win this cleanly if you're Heroic. You've missed your moment.
And it is full credit to Fnatic in the way that they're constructing these rounds. Like you said, they are playing solid Counter-Strike. And it is such a... It pales in comparison to what we saw on that CT side, because I do think Heroic didn't have their... I guess weren't tested properly on that T side. They were just getting away with so much. But Fnatic are manipulating these rotates, making it hard for Heroic continuously. I think just in terms of cleanliness and I guess what we expect from this T side, Fnatic are playing more in line with that, I think, than what Heroic offered up on the offense.
At some point, Heroic will throw caution to the wind. Remember the round that ended the last game? Kixan flinging himself out of that window on the mid-bridge.
Yeah.
MP9 in tow. That was wild. We haven't seen anything like that really on this CT side yet. It's been quite a tame sort of defense.
Sorry, big mistake there from Blame. Didn't actually jump throw the smoke into connector like he was supposed to. It just left his hand. And
life be hard these days, man.
Yeah.
Hard.
Well, Dexter's found a kill on the AWP, and Nertz may have been funneled away from connector, but oh dear, it looked like a kill that should have had. Crim's overpowering and taking space over towards that A bomb site, but Tessus is there to plug the gap. Still 3-on-3, and Tessus has doubled up. BlameF a very, very late attempt to a trade. And so man advantage found here by Heroic. They are doubled up into this A bomb site, leaving Nertz sole defender on B.
I think he's done the right thing though, hasn't he? He's seeded the ground. Flying out. Matty's dispatched. Body comes off the plant and he's looking for an immediate trade, but didn't come. He's just allowing time now for these rotations. That noose is starting to envelop around him. And there's pumps and brakes just in case Body had pushed in towards dark. 30 seconds remaining.
Oh.
What? That kill is brutal. At range, beats out the AWP. Thank God Tez is having a round, because Body just put Fnatic within millimeters of winning this map.
Yeah, he put them on notice. Heroic, I mean, Body had every position dialed in. And I asked for some of the spark of Body to rear its head into this map, and it certainly has. 19 and 13, and that could have been a 1-on-3 for him. Not to be. Heroic finally breaking this lull of... just this absence of rounds, rather, on the defense. It was 7 straight for Fnatic. Maybe there's still more to come. Crim's a lovely opener onto Shush. They wanted to double up aggro play. Dexter there with his rifle as well, but he also loses out on his fight. 2 swift entries towards A. And while Kixan will try and close up entrance, it's going to be difficult for Heroic to muster much in this round. That could be the start of something, though.
I think they already need to think about saving the guns. But they're still continuing to fight for the round. I can see the writings on the wall. And this was my fear, seeing the economic situation, is that, yes, fnatic, they lose a round. It's a tremendous back and forth in the previous, but at the end of the day, it was only one gun surviving for Heroic. See how their buy shakes out in the following round, but if this is the only thing they're pulling forwards, it's not going to be great, and even that's not a given, is it? Matty's is around. Body is not too far out either in mid.
Yeah, and Matty's gets both. 3 kills. And I guess the good news for Heroic is that they are still on pretty heavy loss bonus, given that it's been 1 round of the past 9.
So, it's not been a good day on the defense.
No, it has not.
Not at all.
Oh my goodness, aggro played. Dexter just thrown to the wolves, and Tessa's there to try and get trades back. Blamef does well to get a double there. Kixon is still hovering inside of middle, so if they try and take that space in hopes that that was all that Heroic offered up in that position, maybe have grabbed his hands on a gun, but fnatic are once again grouping themselves up to try and close. Nerds does finish off onto Mattis, and Shush has converted the kill on Blame. Afro still plugging away on that AWP, however. But Kixon has an opportunity ahead of him. If he's able to get himself far enough into B main, yeah, he could catch Crims blissfully unaware. Plant still being committed to by Afro. Has that smoke down temple, knows that the flank is exposed, but he has not planted in a position where he can play from deep CT. He has to still commit to the site this way, or even from a temple line. Kixon doesn't have a kit. Very little to speak of. In this round, timing works for him, though, as he goes through that smoke, but Kixon didn't catch a glimpse. And so Afro taking advantage. It is fnatic, after they trailed that first half 3-9, that get to 12 first.
And they lost pistol in this half. It has been a monumental recovery. And as a reminder, guys, winner of this plays the loser of Falcons Eternal Fire for the sole remaining spot in Rio. Loser goes home. Had fnatic have lost this map, which maybe they should have 10-15 minutes ago, it would have heavily blunted their chances to book those flights. But this has been an inspired performance. Matty's body leading the way. The extremities players for this team at the moment are doing so much work. And just one more round. Afro plugs Dexter. Nert's called upon, but with 35 HP. I dare say he's not long for this world.
Almost gets naded out of this round as well. Picks up that ult. Hopes to do better than what Dexter had, and he will hit his shot. Afro tried to escape. Tucked himself deep into that B-side corner. Bomb is outside of B, though, and fnatic are starting to probe this A bomb site. Shush, it may just come down to timing. They don't clear it first, and so Matty's dropped. Maybe a body that they couldn't actually afford to lose. Especially with that bomb being so separated. Blame in middle. And smoke on camera is fresh. I mean, he has to fight. Nerds has to try and hold this line and prevent this cross, but Blame slips through. Kixon, be aware. Yes, he will. He catches that bomb out in the open, and it leaves Crims to his own devices. We go to overtime. Heroic do pull together the 2 gun rounds needed to push it this far.
fnatic might be somewhat disappointed not to have won this map, but they need to look at the grander picture. They were so far down. And now a big old reset button has just been engaged. There will be no lesser buys. There'll be orbs galore. Now we're in overtime. And I'll say it again. I need Dexter. I need Dexter to be a force on this CT side. He can be the difference maker. He can cause problems. He can not allow fnatic to default so easily and almost carelessly for control.
He's had a lot of missed shots. Something that Afro has actually not had going into this T side. You're getting a lot of crucial trades to enable the rounds for fnatic. Re-aggression into connector. Nert's forced forward by that Molotov. He'll find Mattis, but Body will deal with him. But that should be a bit of an indicator, especially with all this util sailing out on A. They blow that smoke inside of main. Body ahead of the pack, but the first is clean from Shush, even while flashed. Dexter doesn't feel comfortable coming out from camera. And rotates are here for Heroic just before that plant goes down. Almost still yet to be recovered. Kickson is right next to Crims up inside of Heaven, and they were none the wiser. There's a team damage in and amidst it as well. So much chaos suddenly blooming on this bomb site, but fnatic don't get that bomb down, and they lose everyone.
Kickson, my man, making moves.
How? How does he keep doing it?
One of those games. He's played with supreme confidence during this map so far. Even in their losing efforts on the defense, he was trying. Okay. Second round to come. If any team can win 2 out of 3 CT rounds, they're in such a good spot in these overtimes.
Another pick for Afro. Is a 1-for-1 to start. Looks like Body wanted to make use of that lurk smoke so many times thrown, but never actually taking the opportunity. They don't hazard that journey. fnatic are still sitting around the map and seeing what Heroic offer them. I feel like Dexter has had this up many a time and has had little to show for it.
Very static from the defense. Nobody moving. She's going to peel off A. And now the nades start to rain over Kicksan. And Heather's committed clicking. Body makes it unbelievably uncomfortable. Shush is on location too, but how on earth do you get a good duel out of these positions? They're so penned in. Couple flags, though, stream their way. They make it work despite the awkwardness of this defense. And with Body on 12 HP, surely Dexter ends the job.
Oh, what? That nade bounced so far away from Body. I thought that was going to be his undoing.
Could hit a trampoline.
Yeah, it was springboards on some of these bricks on Anubis. But that was a great read. Heroic started making their move before fnatic had even committed into the bomb site. Shush rotating quick, and then Dexter dropping from middle to the canals. So by the time fnatic break through, there's 4 in defense of that B bomb site.
I'm also kind of still stunned that Heroic have actually won 2 rounds out of 2. That's quite incredible.
Sometimes you experience rider's block at the wrong moment. What a spot for Nerds, and they were not caught by that whatsoever. Flash sailed over their heads, and, well, it caught Mattis' teammate. It didn't catch him himself.
I think that was the same move Nerds did the last round. Element of the mind game was saying that they weren't expected to do it again. Does not pan out. And Heroic is going to make a bold move. Look at this. Shush mid, free B. I'd like them actually just to commit. They're not. They're going to reroute.
There's a lot of presence expressed in middle. A lot of steps being made. So information Heroic can play off. Smokes are down. They even smoked themselves off at camera. But Tessus doesn't feel like venturing that smoke. They are going to be sectioned. I mean, 2-2 split. Dexter doesn't have that deep line anymore towards Con, but he will catch Crims as he swings out to Temple. Tessus as well, able to find his. But from a man advantage, now a man to the worse. And so much damage done onto Body. They will have enough space to actually get onto the side itself. Body throwing that bomb over. And with Afro equalizing the affair, this is still on for Fnatic.
I'm looking at these nades for Kixan. Surely they'd go on the plant, right?
They need to actually secure that plant.
He missed his moment. He could have won the round, I think, with that Molotov. But now, 2v3 retake required. Dexter without the gun in hand. Too much to ask. Almost bizarrely, I think that should have been Heroic's easiest round of overtime, but they can't win it.
Yeah. And that was even with them starting in the deficit. Well, it's at least something for Fnatic. You didn't want to come into this overtime and have Heroic win 3 straight, where they've been so heavily contained on that CT side. But now you have to fix your own CT side woes. And it's been a little while since Fnatic have been on the defense. See if it's more of the same or whether the tone has changed now that there's greater belief. Oh, that scoreline is closer. Oh, what a decision. Round the con smoke, they get both. And it's Body and Matisse, these 2 heavy hitters for Fnatic that spring them that advantage.
Not done yet. Not done yet. Shush doesn't get the catch. That was the moment. Kixan is so low on HP. There's HE grenades on both of these CT players. I don't see it happening. It needs to be a pair of tremendous headshots, and it's not to be. What a way to start your CT campaign. So important when you're a round down, especially on a lopsided map like Anubis, to set the tone early. And Fnatic have done just that.
And that may have been the most active move we've seen from Fnatic in all of their CT rounds. Trying to think how many times they sat on the bomb site and lost B. You know, were fighting for, you know, like a 3 mid clear in the mid round, but a very early decision made. And it really works wonders for them. How much do they lean into that idea, though, in this overtime? Do they think you can get away with it again? We saw 3D Max try and be active against Heroic, who love to default at the start of these rounds. Will they be caught by the same tricks? Good molly. Allows access out of Con. You can see just how quickly Body is scaling inside of the canals. And Mattis round the smoke. The scaling on the box is beautiful.
Where was this in regulation? Where was this absolute caution to the wind, cutthroat aggression? You know, accepting that we play slow standard rounds, we're probably going to lose. An important response, though, wasn't it, from Shush? Keep this round in contention. Oh my god.
Gotta be careful.
Oh, I saw the knees. Oh yeah, he's seen it.
Will he hit it, though? Oh, dear. That was the bomb as well inside of the canals. He knew. He just couldn't do a damn thing to stop it.
Yeah, he was left eye, so a tad tricky. He's left his teammates so much to do now. And I can't believe Matty's... why'd you play out of...
Yeah.
Out of connector, play in with your teammate. Still, though, a lot to be done. Molly sections off Afro for the moment. 23 seconds. There is time to plant A if he can get out, and he cannot. fnatic, another map point. My God.
Yeah, and more decisive aggression that finds them a double at the start. I just can't believe it. You're so right to question where this was in regulation, because there is a flare to fnatic right now.
I also think you can see the difference between these two Anubis games from Heroic is they're not getting afforded the same opportunities. The individuals cannot have the same effect. fnatic, yes, as a team, they haven't had the best results, but the individuals are not to be snuffed at. Afro claims 2 has impact that Dexter could only dream of on Anubis at the moment. Puts his team in a map-winning position. And what a storyline it could be if they close this round.
Some of these rounds in regulation would just blow up. Even if fnatic found advantages, but overtime has been a different beast. This could be 3 rounds straight where they benefit off of double entries. At Heroic, last stand, it will be towards this B-bomb site. And they get destroyed by nades and spam. Another one to finish off Tesses as well. And Kixin burned and taken down by the bullets of Body. 27 and 20 is the in-game leader of this fnatic squad. A fantastic comeback from a 10-3 deficit. I didn't think they had it in them, but boy, did they prove me. And I don't know about you, Alan, but maybe you were wrong as well. I guess it's kind of similar. Like, their only Mirages that they've played since that player break were against MIBR and Furia, both at the IEM Cologne play-in, and they lost both those outings, 13-7 versus MIBR and a close 13-11 versus Furia. So, I'm not really sure what to expect in that regard. I feel like a lot of it will come down to form, and I know we were praying a lot and we were asking for a lot for Dexter to show up on Anubis. I don't think he can afford to go missing if they want any hopes of staying in this best of 3.
They need him. They need him. It hasn't been Dexter's qualifier yet.
Yeah. By comparison, Afro had a pretty monster performance on Anubis.
Setting the bar high. And what a time for fnatic to be leaning B. Actually pulling out just the wrong time, aren't they? The boost, though, retained. Blame F, Julie's in tow. Can somebody else take first contact? He fires a shot, shows himself, and gets cleared. That achieved very little, that boosted position. Matty's is ever so low. This hold has not panned out nearly as intended for fnatic.
Yeah, Body even, I mean, did exactly what he needed to do. Took that first contact away and diverted attention, but he wanted more out of that boosted setup, that's for sure. Crims and Afro trying to approach differing positions. Crims does win his fight onto short, and up close to that window is Kixan, but I think they're prepping to double swing to short, and they'll do so just after they find that kill in window. It's Dexter that punches in 3 kills from this pistol round.
Looking good. What we needed. Hitting the ground or running. Blame F there will be kind of, I think he'll be kicking himself for firing that bullet before he had, you know, had a kill.
Yeah.
And even then, to have a virtue in that position to have some trigger discipline, you, in some sense, it almost want to gamble that the first man doesn't check you.
I think there's also a world where, even though Body got that first kill, the first man that was out for Heroic could have also maybe seen Blame on death cam. I'm not sure. Would have been a difficult angle. That's a good kill for Blame. Notes did his damage on the MP7 and the MP9. The jumping accuracy there really working for Blame out. Oh, that's really bad for Afro. Gotta jump into those apartments while there was action elsewhere.
Pull the plug, pull the plug. You know it's 2B.
Yeah.
Get out, Heroic. Leave it. And Dexter dies on the fadeaway. What an awkward round this has been for Heroic. What is the next move? Bomb is being scooted out of apartments. Tezes has A control, but he's terrified, isn't he? He's terrified of taking too much space himself. He wants to wait for Shush and his high HP. It's allowed so much time for Blame F to reposition. It's a matter of timing. Who catches who? Surely it's Blame F. Behind triple. He does.
Oh my goodness. 4 kills from Blame F on this MP9. And he's being very loud about his retreat from that A-bomb site. Shush should have a kill punched in. Molotov down. He doesn't want to take that fight head on. And so he'll try and play for the 1 versus 2. Triple plant, and they'll see him cross to default. But it's all about keeping tabs on his position. Don't let him escape without knowing where he's headed. The flash actually contacting with Blame F. But he's got his hands on a FAMAS. And Shush has to just try and isolate these players. They shouldn't have a kit, but it's not something that he can also bank on. He knows that they forced into this, and they'll line up, they'll get and guarantee the trade. fnatic able to space themselves out and topple what starts as a pistol round win for Heroic that fnatic swiftly snatch back.
I think Heroic has communication problems. Too much of this today. Too much. Yeah, that round was potentially one of the least forgivable, because it's just like, at what point do we? It's so slow to stop fighting B. The move to go in B was right, because they saw a lot mid. They're like, okay, B's let the defenders start moving in. They get in there. They meet massive resistance, and how Dexter doesn't fall out before being killed is beyond me.
Yeah, it's a real head scratcher, that one. See if Heroic can make amends by winning a force themselves. It's a good nade in from Mattis. They will not have watchful presence on the potential of a boost. They did actually hear a step, so really that will sort of soft confirm the idea of 2 underneath that window. But Heroic are still spread. fnatic don't exactly have very forward or advanced positions to gain much insight into how Heroic are orchestrating themselves.
How are you getting the bomb down with no smokes? Guess we'll find out soon.
Shoot them all.
They're lucky, actually, there's no CT player for fnatic. They're playing jungle and under Balk. That'll make it even more difficult. Afro, though, repositions at just the right time by the looks of it. Tezes caught in mid. That's the lone lurker. And now the contact play begins. There's no other option, is there? They've got to get as far up as they can without showing face. Kick will be up soon, though. Flash. Over the top. Body swings from under balcony. 2 quick kills for Shush. The bomb does actually get planted, so that in essence is already a bit of a win, but claiming the round might be beyond them. Kicksan surely gets swarmed. These first 2 are very low HP. Crims needs to get way up connector to join his teammates in the fray. Kicksan collects 2, and this is on. Just Crims to find. What a round this would be for the in-game leader. Had huge moments today, but we need one more. Head collected. Kicksan wins. Heroic back at it.
How has Kicksan pulled that one off? You're right on. I mean, those first 2 players were low enough that you only had to put a couple bullets downrange for each. But then the brave move there for him to jump on top of default and just take the fight to Crims, who was running healthy. That is a fantastic clutch there for Kicksan.
Huge moment in this series. Massive moment. And now it's put the economy for fnatic on the back foot. Their buy is dreadful and their numbers are thinned already. Surely these remaining players have already got to consider a save, because this is cooked. Gonna be free for Heroic. They don't make it easy for themselves. But this round, this map has certainly started better.
And it will call a close to the Force Buy Wars. And, you know, the longer that gets drawn out, the worse it feels for the CT side. Their money always feels in a more tenuous position. Yeah, 2 entries is all it takes. May have been a curious choice for Heroic to lean into a Mirage. But maybe they'll be able to justify it if they pull off a successful T-side. It's not like their T-sides have been poor today. It's really their CT that there have been some issues, and maybe that does lend itself to this idea you were pointing out in that second round, where communication may be a bit of a problem.
CT's more communication heavy. T-side you can call around,
yeah,
and just sort of roll with it. CT side you've got to make adjustments on the fly. We'll find out that's a factor later on. Now it's the anti-eco. Saved upgraded pistol for Matty's on Afro, but that they shouldn't be factors given the positioning. Just get rid of the bomb, guys. Let's not have the bomb out in the open. I'm a little bit nervous. The bomb is felled. Nothing more going.
Crisis averted. We're fine. I'm not sure Kicksun should be using the MP7. I know that's a Nert's specialty. Didn't seem like Kicksun had the same control that I've seen Nert's display. What could have been a disaster ends up being more security for Heroic now that they have significant numbers.
Quick update on our concurrent game. Eternal Fire are 4 rounds from Rio. They're up 9-3 at the half, having a 9-round T-side on Anubis. I mean, we have learned over today that it's not a done deal, but at some point, huge comebacks will cease to exist.
Yeah. And they've played damn good in these close qualifiers. Oh,
it's real scary for these teams. So if Falcons lose that series, I wouldn't be pleased about a matchup against Falcons to go for Rio.
Not sure how much more pleased you'd be with a Eternal Fire game, but
yeah. Hell,
Afro will be super pleased with the way that he's called this save. I mean, started off as a scout, got 3 more kills on top of that. You know, that was a 1 versus 4 where I'm sure he wasn't going for the round, but that's a lot more damage than Heroic had really any business giving over.
Okay, pause is in. Discussion for fnatic. We approach these gun rounds. Because we haven't seen. Will this be the first full-blown gun round? I think it might be.
Yes.
Because of all of the Force Buy shenanigans. Certainly the first one that Afro could AWP. So they have choices. They could throw an aggression. They could play a more reactive mid-round and start on the sides or whatever. Or, you know, a standard sort of Mirage into play where you have numbers mid early and then full sights late. Plenty of options.
Well, whatever the call for Heroic, it involves Kicksun running at them with a MAC-10.
He also hasn't fully bought, has he? He's going to go. If you don't buy full nades, that means you're in first and you're taking space.
It's exactly what's on the docket. They're set up for an A execute. They will want to lean into this burst as heavily as possible. Kicksun will be the one that leads the way. Smoke down for Body, but he has very little support on the site itself. Body is trapped towards the top side of the balcony, but he gets his kill even while Flash, and he gets away with another as well. After dropping into Sandwich with the AWP, it's Nertz that doubles up, but they are a man to the worse. Full execute was down, but they have not actually gained ground on the bomb site itself.
We had that discussion yesterday of when you should leave a teammate out to dry and just play the long game. Afro didn't hear that conversation. He was straight in. Fortunately for him, his teammates are doing work. Bomb is failed. I'm not sure the CTs could see that because it's just below the steps, but... free alive. They can just play together. I think Dexter will save. Nobody phases.
I'm not sure how patient Dexter will be about it. I just get the bomb, so he does create an option, but this route is the save route. There'd be far too much to clear. The fact that fnatic didn't continue swinging or applying pressure onto ramp will have him suspicious of him being contained, and so, yeah. Hold on to what little you have.
Absolute magic from Body to find 2 in that position. A supportive util might have been a factor as well. But he was in trouble. He was in trouble. But blunted that offense a great deal.
Yeah, and he caught the player jumping stairs. You know, first players out for Heroic didn't route in a way to actually clear out the balcony or under it. They wanted to take the fight into con, and Body helped alleviate that strain by dealing with that jumping player. That's what Kixon had drawn up with his Mac 10.
Heavy mid stance. Straight up onto Catwalk. With Matties. Lame F is zooming his way up mid. And he is running into his own demise. Dexter capitalizes.
Oh my.
Body is traded places with Tezes.
And neither know.
Oh, he heard the final play with the bomb, I think, as well.
This gets weird. Afro's dead, and so the reaction will be knife drawn, and Body will be completely uncleared, but he needed that kill, and he needed it quick. He still gets his double after fumbling the initial spray. It is a 1-on-3 for Crims now. And amongst that chaos, there could have been a chance for him, but he didn't invoke maybe much confidence after hearing those opening bullets from Body.
Starting to look good again here for Heroic. Crims is... I don't know what that look was meant to achieve.
It's like a... Isn't that the crowd?
Yeah,
Isn't
I was going to say, but like...
Who's cheering?
Exactly, I mean...
You can't hear us.
I don't know what's going on. Interesting. I mean, when you play as many stage games as Crims has, maybe it's almost muscle memory. You're just thinking this is part of the game at this point.
Yeah. Or maybe he has that veteran. He took this time to give them a lesson. Listen, if you guys are ever in a situation like this, and we really need the round on stage, do this move.
Just getting ready for Rio, I'm sure. Quick update, 11-3 is the scoreline on the A stream.
Damn.
And Falcons are going to be forcing the game out at the rate they're going.
Well, we saw a lot of forcing from the Falcons, so that doesn't surprise me. Right, so Blame is invested in a rifle. Crims did save his. Blame has opted for a ladder room stance. Him and Crims will be in charge of making sure there can be no shenanigans in through middle. You know, Body has walked all the way through ramp on A, but timing's not going to work. Shush peels away from Palace in time. But as he peeled, Afro has taken up a position. He can only go uncleared, but needed to hit that instant shot. Nice adjustment from Shush.
What can you do? Can you do? Nurse is still also lurking B here, so plenty of options for the offense. In terms of how they want to end this. Rifles being plucked out of the server galore at the moment. And Blame might do well just to heavily front himself towards the save. 12-3 now for Eternal Fire.
Something like early congratulations may be in order.
Right, chances. Money
Yeah.
surely bad.
No, that's true. And on day one, you know, we posed this question about who we thought would go through, and you did put your confidence in Eternal Fire. So happy it's going well for them.
Don't go. They're so close.
yeah. Doing what I can just to add some drama to the stream we're not part of.
Like, Eternal Fire. Sometimes rightfully so. Over the years, I've played some less than ideal Counter-Strike.
Sure.
Had some less than ideal roster moves. Team stability doesn't translate into Turkish, what I can tell. But this team is different. They actually play good CS, so I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
And well, in a few minutes, they'll be on Google Flights.
Oh, that was a nice and comfortable 6th round for Heroic. They are still far away from any chance of making it to Rio. The fnatic are at least a little closer. Afro, a nice opener in this round. A full investment and him getting his hands back on that big green. Already paying off. It's a nice forward position here from Crims as well. Very controlling. But something that should go cleared. I don't know how convincing or how convinced they'll be that Crims will be in a position like this. Yeah, it's a bit of a haphazard clear, but Kixon will at least trade. And that carves a path out towards this B bomb site. Mattis isn't even really fighting for it. Just throws that smoke and starts to redivert, hoping to try and play numbers. But Shush is really rotating quite late away from that A bomb site, and it does come down to how prepared he is for this underpass aggression. Mattis, a lovely set of shots, and it does mean that there's very little safe haven for Heroic. Nice quick one from Afro. Dexter back of the site, and Afro won't miss a beat. 3 after he gets his hands back on this ult.
Clinical retake. Afro to open it up too. He was in underpass and the nerds he caught early on. So it's proactive play from him. It's been you know, in a series where Afro is playing up against Dexter, you expect Dexter to be the bigger force, but it's not been the case. Afro has been actually played a really great series so far.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed it, especially on the defense.
Yeah, we'll ignore the defense of Anubis in regulation because everyone was having a bad time. But they'll call timeout after finding these advantages, getting that triple via Afro. Retake looked good. fnatic are the one that take the pause. Maybe a final moment to rally the troops to round out this half.
This map is far from over. They're playing for wiggle room. Playing for scope as they go into second half. I think I need a few more rounds than this. Check out Blame F. He is absolutely speeding his way through underpass. To play a second Delpa, and that's Nerds. Could cause problems, but he doesn't peak in time. Matties, though, doesn't expect to play it too wide. He is felled. That could cause problems here for the defense. How do they react? Will there be some aggressions on the exterior of the map? Indeed there is. Krim smokes behind himself, grabs more info. He's going to compel his teammates further to remain with this A-lane, surely. Could be a huge move, this.
Yeah, you can see they're starting to consider it. Dexter, a very defensive line being held on that AWP. If Crims pushes his way out of the B apartments, he's likely to be taken down by this AWPer. He holds stalwart, especially with Nerds being found on that mid lurk. It just tees up Crims to find greater success. He was one corner another round, and this time he's gone the other direction, and he's just trying to buy as much time as possible. A Molotov that will force his hand, but he does great damage before he's felled. There's a second lurk that they need to be aware of, but how could they anticipate Kixon inside of jungle so wide? Afro's gunned down before he can even think about making it to B. Oh, I think Dexter was just narrowly spotted, and he wides to the apartments. Good check. That was kind of the only way back into the round for fnatic if Body got something done on that flank.
Been a brutal half of Counter-Strike, but Heroic are making this work. Seven now. See how the money shakes out for fnatic. It might not be enough for another investment. It's borderline, isn't it? I think they'll have to half buy. That'll be a tough pill to swallow because you're sort of playing for 4 rounds. No, they're going to go all in. They want more. They want more. BlameF can drop 1 gun. Someone surely's got to make sacrifices. The buy's actually a little bit better than I'd expected. But no up on Afro. At least there's a couple kits in play. And bit of a dice roll here from fnatic. They're desperate to get more of a buffer before the halves change.
Aggressive move from Blame, and he tried it before through the underpass. This time it's in through middle, but he connects for a full kill. They're out from ramp, though. They're close by Tetris, and Crims finds a great moment to just clear that out for the squad. He is Molotov'd out, but even while blind, escapes the clutches of those flames. It comes down to 2 that remain here on Heroic. His choice to buy isn't going to blow up in fnatic's face. I think you'd actually do well to save at least one of these guns, if not both.
Yeah, I was just checking out the money for Heroic. It's a really good buy, actually, if they save both, isn't it? Because Shush could even just buy himself a smoke and have a full belt.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what they're going to do. Okay. A stream update. It's 6-12. Falcons won 3 in a row.
Okay.
It looked like Major DC'd in the last round when they were in a man advantage. That's at least what I can tell. That could be incorrect. That's assuming that HLTV scoreboard is an accurate reflection of the game, but he did leave mid-round and then rejoin at the start of this round.
Understood. I was thinking, you've got your finger to the pulse real good for that second game.
I'm just informing the fans. Or I need my ego boosted by Eternal Fire winning.
Just grand multitasking.
Gotta be done. Gotta be done. fnatic. Well, they're staying alive here. That's the good news. Can they find 5? How do they distribute the forces this time? Surely BlameF is not going to try mid-aggression again. How many times would be one too many? He does not. Hello, head over towards Connected. It's Afro that gets straight into ladder room. So a little bit of a switch up.
It's a good move. Set up for Body to peer in through the bottom side of ramp, and he catches Shush, who tried to play it using the angle to his advantage, but that flash went overhead, and it was never going to catch Body. So some aggressive actions from fnatic on this defense that have netted them advantages now in back-to-back rounds. And they're going to crunch mid. Oh, this is a great call. A fantastic decision. Once again, just getting a kill and evacuating. They got what they wanted. Heroic are still trying to compose themselves about how they approach the rest of this round, and they're getting picked apart. Counter kill via Tessus in middle does make you a little worried, and Afro the miss, that's not grand. Kixon's doubled up. That's the spray down onto those 2 short side players, and it carves this path wide open towards the B bomb site. They're going to take that and run with it. But it's damage exchanged through the smoke down to 2-on-2 before that bomb is down.
Okay, let's focus up. So Tezes versus Smoke. Body comes in front of it, and Tezes wins. Crims was not close enough for an immediate trade, and he is wary about playing the same game. He'll lose a lot of time. Work around the smoke. Eats a nade. So awkward. So awkward, but now the gig is up. Tries to come out, but there's a player all the way up on short. Crims finds the first. But this is impossible. Dex has got this one every day of the week. Indeed, he does. 8 rounds for Heroic. A strong T-side performance as they look to salvage this series. Can they get it done in the second half?
This is an elimination game between Heroic and fnatic on their road to Rio. And fnatic already a map up, but trailing after the first half after Heroic put 8 together on that T side. We'll see whether or not this transits us to a full 3-map series into Dust2 or not. Because fnatic, they may start down at the half, but they didn't finish down on Anubis.
No, sir. And it's only Kicksan. Only Kicksan on this side. Flames on the feet of Body. Looks divine, angelical as he flies through the air. An important entry for fnatic. That bomb gets planted. They can choose their after plants. This looks good.
So did the Anubis pistol on their T side, and then it all went up in smoke in a moment's notice. They'll hope to avoid that same path taken into this retake. Tessis probing with those dualies, and there is a quick 1-for-1 in at the market door, but they don't have kits, and they are bleeding a lot of time. Mattis finding more frags, and BlameF as well as security. Once again, lining up those trades. fnatic this time will get that pistol advantage, get the plant, and retain all of it.
Just what they needed. Just what the doctor ordered. This could well be game on. Of course, it's been a series of falling foul to early force buys. So, may need to dodge that. If Heroic buy? No, they'll be fully going. That said, we did see the 4 Glock 1 Deagle round earlier, so...
Sure.
I'm still nervous.
I'm less so. A little harder to make that work here on CT. And they don't even have the 1 Deag. And they're on the wrong bomb site. Oh, okay, that is awkward. They throw Molotovs to B, Crims jumps the window and blocks the molly, so it actually stops players from coming out of the apartments, but... Yeah, the fact that they're on the wrong side doesn't matter.
If there had actually been a B stack there, that could have been bad.
Yeah, they could have.
But, no harm, no foul. No problemo. Gonna be 6-4 fnatic.
That's a tree that drops in the woods with no one around to hear it.
All my main men have done it. 13-8. Eternal Fire. 2-0 the Falcons to book their spot in Rio.
Yeah, that's huge. Really excited to see what Eternal Fire will offer us at that event. A team of promise and a national team, where it does feel like there are so few, so always sort of silently rooting for them as international rosters, like the 2 we have right now, have become plentiful.
I think what goes around comes around. I wouldn't be surprised there's a resurgence. I guess the problem is these days is how on earth do you cobble together enough players in the top of the scene of one nationality when there's so many contracts already taken? You've got a real tough time.
I think the region that has that problem the most is definitely Brazil, right? But other regions will probably be a little easier to pull together that type of a roster. Just about whether or not the talent is actually good enough to fight high.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Bring back Blue Jays. Kixan in his element. That's what we need.
Okay. He seems in his element on this fnatic team, or rather on Heroic, rather.
Check out the buy from Heroic. 5 MP9s. Have you ever seen anything like this? They ecoed to buy this round.
Yeah,
and they've half bought on MP9s rather than going for M4 and low nades. It is a very unorthodox move, and not one I don't think I've ever seen it before. And I've watched a lot of Counter-Strike.
Well, they still just work out. Body's very low HP. These MP9s can certainly finish off the job. BlameF tagged the same, and they do finish off onto Afro. These players are not healthy. And it's not like BlameF will have the safest journey to link up, but Body does find that kill onto Nerds. Just, do they read this flank? I mean, all it takes is a shot in the back, and it's just done just like that. A double from Shush on that flank. The MP9 buy after the save from Heroic just topples the guns of fnatic.
It's,
I actually love it as well.
It's certainly very interesting, because it means that if you win a round and then lose the next, you haven't invested everything, which is the point. It's also almost certainly the case that the value, like pound for pound, the MP9 is of a better value than a full-blown rifle, which also factors in there.
But its intent to fight, still buy, even if you lose it. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Where's their loss bonus? Because it would be, they would have lost 3 in a row, so it'd be 2-9. And they were saving, what, about 1,200 each? Well, they could have bought again, even if they lost it. It wouldn't have been a great buy, but if you get a couple kills, then it's kind of okay.
Oh, well, that is not how you wanted your rifles to start. Nerds gets killed through smoke, and the good news is at least Kixon got aggressive enough off short to find something back.
Bad news here for Fnatic is they've invested every single smoke into mid. So that control is all good and everything, but rounds are won on the bomb sites. How do they cascade in that direction? Kixan is on an island. Dexter now starting to reroute, but smoke fades. See if Crims can get a duel. He's got teammates coming in behind him. Kixan does find one, and there's an early warning system for Dexter to reposition. Heather's flex another in the meanwhile, and this round has worked. It looks good. Afro has a lot of work to do. Baying these CTs to overface, but it doesn't come. 10-4 heroic, and surely an eco to follow for the Swedish organisation. They're actually, that's a lie, they're a British organisation, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They just had one of the best Swedish rosters of all time.
Do they not have... They're certainly kind of multicultural. They're certainly...
Sure.
They're certainly... I'm sure they have... They must have a facility or something.
I think they probably do. I don't know, my org.
That's a lie, actually, because even I know that, because I know they moved it. I think it was in Amsterdam. They built a new one.
Oh, you're right.
No, they built a new...
Aren't you?
I don't know. They have a new one in the UK.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I don't often care where they play from, just that they play good. And this Fnatic has a lot of promise. And there's maybe even more to get out of this round as well. BlameF has found 2 kills on the D. Could be a timing here for Afro. Oh god, that's a lot of damage. He actually won that opening exchange. And Blame has found another. They're so low. Shot. They are both within an inch of their life.
Is there a rifle anywhere you can scoop 2? Or is
triple?
Yeah, the cross might not be the easiest. Where's this bomb? Is it on default?
I think it's literally on the top of default, like on the missiles.
It's got it.
Okay.
This would be an ace. This would be incredible.
It'd have to be magic.
Start to move, clearing their angles. Buddied up for the moment. Dexter goes wide. Does he check the sandwich? Yes, he does. Shadow spotted, but doesn't make a difference. 11 for heroic.
Jeez. I was not expecting that to be so close, but it will put heroic in a position where, sure, Dexter's floating a lot of cash, but as Fnatic suddenly clamored together with a couple of rounds back to back, get into a reset, and then right back into the swing of things, Fnatic will be biting at the heels of this heroic lead. It's a lot of ifs and buts, and no absolutes. Blame F, taken down at the very start. Just tried to get some middle control. They used 3 smokes on that mid control venture, but they still have to clear out this bomb site itself. Shush, a kill. Dexter will also work in tandem. And not a lot left to re-engage on this site.
You can never get engaged on this map, could Fnatic. Looking like all she wrote. Third and final will be required at the rate we're going here. Even a round like this, I mean, it's pretty much over if you lose it. This is just such a massive deficit. Dust2 waits in the wings. I'm not even sure how you get a plant.
Well, Heroic are offering enough space that they could, if they were feeling bold enough to do it with that smoke up, but they even just blow the smoke on Heroic. Meaning now it is almost an impossibility. Nerds will swing from the stairs, and Heroic will have 6 opportunities to close this map and force us into Dust 2. It doesn't feel quite as desperate in the way that they're trying to fish for opening kills. They're just being almost granted them at the start of these rounds. You know, we saw the crazy actions of BlameF on that CT side to try and get that advantage. Far less labored. Wow. Okay, Shush was not prepared for that duel, but he gathers his second burst. Fnatic wanted to pick up the pace on this A bomb site, and they will have the chance to deploy some util, but all that util is actually, sorry, on BlameF on that B bomb site instead. He is completely separate and devoid of the actual hit. Good kill for Mattis, giving a chance for Blame to actually activate on this lurk, but I don't know how long Mattis will be able to stay alive.
Third hole is breached, that's the good news. But he's lost his teammate. Kixan could end the job here, unchecked, 13-6. Heroic strike right back. Honestly, a dominant performance. As soon as the economy swung in their direction on that first half, they were off to the races, and obviously second half looking pretty good as well. So, what more is there to say? Heroic played one bad half in this series. Elsewhere has looked pretty mad in third round here. That even that alone compels me to think they might have some fun. They might have some tricks up their sleeve. They really haven't played a lot of CS, have they, with this lineup? It's hard to actually gauge them at all. Of course, the stats say that they're only 2-2 on Dust 2, but they've only played it twice post-player break. One loss to Cloud9, one win over Bait, so we really don't have any data. I mean, that's far from enough to draw any solid conclusions.
Sure. Yeah, and Fnatic have only played it 3 times. Twice against Sangal, where one was a 13-1 dominant victory for Fnatic, and then the other 2 results, one against Cloud9, 13-11 on both of them. So, could be quite a close showing. We'll have to see. Heroic starting CT in this final map to maintain their road to Rio. Gonna smoke out into this B bomb site. Shush will take that first contact. The flashes are good, though, blinding up Shush on that long-range angle, and both of them hit the deck. In fact, the flank that Dexter wanted to accomplish also just completely ruined. Is a clean exec from Fnatic.
I think Heroic had the safeties on their guns, the way this round has gone so far. No resistance. Oh, Fnatic. What a statement to get us going here on Dust 2. And this will be a zinger of a map. Falcons beckons. That'll be tomorrow. 3:30 Central Europe in the afternoon. Winner of this will play Soaring Bird for a spot in Brazil. Eternal Fire already booking their spot earlier this evening. So even for the winner here, the work is not yet done, but give an arm and a leg for at least the opportunity. Let's see, because Heroic could save this round and then do it again.
Maybe they buy 1 scout. Maybe that's the one deviation that I would offer. Because it doesn't feel like MP9s can do as much damage on Dust 2 when the engagement ranges are just so long. I'm sure they could come up with a creative way to make it work. No, they'll group up at long and just try and overwhelm with these USPs. A couple of kills at least go their way, but not a way that this could cascade out of control unless Nerds hit a follow-up headshot, which he's unable to do. So, Fnatic just meet them head on at long and get that round out of the way very quickly.
Not necessarily a bad result to get a couple kills. And Heroic, okay. So they have gone for a more traditional investment. So it's interesting though, isn't it? Because it begs the question of, well, which maps is it on? Mirage, I'd put forward Nuke, Inferno, probably Vertigo.
Sure.
There's actually very few maps where you couldn't do it, because obviously you don't have Overpass in the pool anymore. That would have been one of them.
It's just kind of, what are the conditions that need to be met for them to have gone with that buying route? It is an interesting deep dive that may have to be done at some point.
Again, they haven't played much Counter-Strike, so we're not sure. Afro just swings short. Afro swings short into 3 players and finds 2. Flash maybe playing a pivotal part. We weren't on board, so can't speak to the strength of that one, but Heroic not in a good position. Tezes is really up for a fight. Here he backs himself off short. Matties collects another. That's Nertz in mid. This round surely is done. There's so much work to do to get back onto this site.
Yeah, Tezes has to be gifted a kill as he comes back in, and as he dies on short, that will be the round. And the chances of coming back into it completely gone. Just snap decisions. Get that double kill on Afro, and they just target that A bomb site. They're 2 defenders light on the defense.
Right. So, I mean, the damage is pretty tremendous from Shush. Next round will be a half buy for Heroic. With those frags, if they can find a couple more in the following, they do keep fnatic on somewhat of a precipice. I feel like a broken record, but it's still Dexter, isn't it? Especially on a C side of a map like this. He's the man.
Yeah, still waiting to see that potential that felt almost untapped before he took his hiatus and coming back into the circuit. Still yet to see him show that same level, and with this scout that he's brought into the round, he does find the head of Afro. That was an ult the other side of the duel.
Devil. And he's coming. He's coming for the damned. Is Dexter. What is the next move for Heroic? Infamously hard map to rotate is the CD side of Dust2, so those B players can't really cross. Perhaps could consider some tunnels aggression. As M4 gets scooped. It's suddenly looking like a much more dangerous investment, isn't it? Quite a lot in play, and peeling off B. They're going to fight mid. 2 for Nertz. Body tagged up. Crims is way out. He's super late to the party here in these tunnels. It does catch Nertz on the retreat. Still, though, jeopardy in this round when maybe it should have been much less than this.
Oh, but Crims gets tagged fighting from the window. He tried to just buy more time so that Body could link up with him on the site, but neither of them are healthy. Good kill from Body at the flash, and Crims able to provide security over the plant. Doesn't matter if they're low health if nobody on Heroic can get in a position to fire back.
Interesting.
Right, another full investment, this time Dexter on the AWP. And again, because of all the sort of amounted damage over these past 3 rounds, it's not like it's gone out of control as of yet. You know, there could have been cleaner affairs for fnatic. They could have had a much bigger buffer built. But all it should take is a successful gun round here for Heroic before fnatic have to start counting pennies.
Tech pause. Hopefully nothing too bad. Want to get back in the action.
Yeah, everyone's still here. I did some digging. Well, rather, I saw the post from Trav, who was commentating on the Eternal Fire game. It was a mid-round DC, that Eternal Fire circumstance you were talking about, and it was the Phantom player DC that seemed to happen in a round that didn't actually matter. You know, it didn't actually have any consequence on the round, but sometimes when you drop out of the game, you do leave like an after image of where you were. I don't know how to replicate the bug, but it seems to happen from time to time, and there was just a body on the server that had no soul in it. So
that's major for you.
Yeah, rather peculiar, but it can happen.
Okay, well, hopefully we're not here too long waiting for the game to get back underway. I'm sure both teams want to get moving. It's getting a little bit later as well for the ones that are more Central European. Even, I mean, Dexter is 2 hours ahead of us at the moment, so he wants to get moving. And we're back. We're underway. Guns out. Eyes on Dexter. He has a long spawn. Could also go catwalk. Let's see.
Instant long corner smoke from fnatic. And a 3 long start from Heroic that the smoke will be a little disruptive, but they'll still get the control that they were after. Nobody even feigning presence, really, by the T side. They'll get pretty easy access to short. Dexter holding from car with that AWP. Likely to transition into the site.
Setup as old as time, isn't it? Yeah, from Heroic. It's old school. Mid secured by fnatic. They're going to show some presence as well. This could pull some sort of reaction. Hasn't just yet. But Heroic are running out of nades. Look at this. Only Nurse is much to speak of. Even a retake's going to be problematic without any util. Dumped so much in mid. Of course, the long take earlier. Ball is in fnatic's core because they can just split a site here and, well, at least nades-wise, there won't be a lot to resist them.
Nerds does still have that smoke, and with 25 seconds, if he cuts off one of these entrances on the mid to B that they have split and they have set up, it becomes a lot more problematic. Shush gunning everyone down in the tunnels, and that's the bomb dropped inside of them as well. So even if they wanted to link up on this second prong of the assault, they're smoked off, too far detached, and they didn't leave a lot of time on that clock for anything to go wrong, especially not for Shush to get all 3 from back plat.
It's unbelievable. I guess, I mean, we weren't on board. I guess just a miraculous lineup when, you know, the first man wasn't looking and then the 2 guys behind couldn't see anything. It's incredible how quickly those kills came in. And finally, the close rounds, the somewhat close eco rounds as well from Heroic are going to pay some dividends. Look at the buy. It is ugly, to put it mildly, and Mattis finds a double Galil headshot. Insanity.
Buy may be ugly, but the shooting certainly isn't.
I know. I've got my beer goggles on. I'm all for it. Let's go.
Well, they will mantle back into this A bomb site. They are that extra man down. Mattis currently has no main rifle. Give it to a healthier player. And Nerds, great angle to catch them, just trying to fully flush out and clear car. Mattis caught on the cross as well. He didn't have a lot of health to give, and Dexter revealing his ult from the site. He'll get to himself. So even though they were that one man down, not scared of taking those duels towards long. A nice little dodged bullet. It opens the door wide open for Heroic to close that gap.
It looked like destiny when Mattis found those kills. A Heroic survive. And this one has to be an eco. Finally, fnatic give up. Unrelenting investments. And Heroic will know it soon. They haven't seen any default nades. Nothing over long. So know it's an eco, and on track for the clean up here in mid. Soul man lost, not too bad. Bit of money in the bank as well. As we cruise into round number 8.
There will be no AWP for Afro. Though, sometimes, as much as Dust2 can be an AWPer's map, you can feel a little limited in what your opening routes will be unless you're given a great spawn. It's maybe not the worst thing in the world, but it will mean that Dexter will have a range advantage. Especially when it comes to fighting players in it longer, if it happens to be him over in the tunnels. Holding in through mid. The nade is great from Tessus. There's a lot of damage out long, even with him going traded. Mattis is walking wounded.
Broke have a lot of space. Fnatic start to reroute for mid. Kixan shows himself, but I almost wonder if this brings Nurse into play. Oh my lord. That is not a fight Blame F ever should have won. Shush makes his move.
Oh my.
To at least secure a trade. Does find it, but does get picked on the fullback. No, sir. And this round teeters on the pendulum. It's swung back now towards Heroic because Shush just got some critical information. Kixan takes space in mid. Afro's outside long. I don't know what's going on.
I think Dexter has wagered the wrong direction. After he throws that smoke, he doesn't offer up a whole lot here. Kixan has all of mid covered off. And all Dexter has in security is to watch that long cross.
Why doesn't Kixan hold the long cross? I mean... Oh, it's because Dexter's holding sight. It does work out in the end. Had me a little bit confused. They knew what they were doing. It's going to be a 2-on-1.
Oh, Heroic. A smoke. He needed that. He needed that smoke to cross because Dexter still held that line. This round is still on. Body, he switched out to that M4, but he has a 1-on-2 on his hands. Flash is out from short. And a Molotov as well. It's a lot of util for one man to throw, so suspecting both. It's spotted. They know he's on that ramp. You know he's rearing for a fight. The Molotov forcing him forward. He's down to 1 HP, and Dexter will finish him off. Should be able to get his hands back on an AWP all the same. And Shush should slide in for the defuse. Yeah, just getting some distance and delaying that defuse so that Dexter can get that big green back in his possession. 4th round and a tying one for Heroic.
Truly the entire map being used in that round. Saw it all. Got a tour.
Yeah.
Absolutely mad. But Heroic are playing a proactive CT side. It's a little bit sketchy, but that's Dust2 for you. It happens. And I suspect this pause from fnatic comes in because their money is right on the verge. Given the posturing from Matty's, at a 4.5 by Blame F goes pretty heavily in. Okay, so Hero AK and a half buy around it is the call. A bomb plant coming very handy, at least for Blame F's sake. Yeah, and that's a hell of a V-spawn on body.
And he's got the MAC-10. Seems to be facing the right direction too. Yeah, as it stands, Blame F will be able to get an AK and armor again in the following round. But, like you said, bomb plant will allow him some nades. But who's to say they don't just win the round? It is a fast B call. Nades out, and actually taking a lot of damage is Body, who was the front of the pack. The rest had kind of called it off.
A neat idea. I mean, the triple nade to catch a player jiggling up close. I haven't lost that much by not committing to it. I mean, Heroic haven't taken, they haven't pushed long or gone up walk, so. But equally, fnatic don't know that. So it'll take them a long time here to clear the map, even if they choose to do so. They're not. They're so nervous. Matty's here in mid, at least feigning that somebody could have crossed towards Xbox. But it will be a B round in the end. Second bite of the apple, and Body is out. kilometers ahead of a teammate.
With the bomb, too.
I mean, what the hell do you do now? It's over.
Couldn't have been a worse player to find. Yeah, and that Hero AK floored by Kixen on short. Crims will get his hands on a rifle at the very least, but yeah, this round was never on. Not with that bomb being so separated.
Starting to look pretty good for now for Heroic, isn't it? Arnie's good. Dex is hitting.
And the rest of the team are not exactly disappearing on him either. I feel like that happens so often. You know, a player we're focused on struggling to get engaged in the series, and then when he finally breaks through and has a good performance, other pieces shy away. That's not the case for Heroic right now.
A bit surprised actually not to see a pause from fnatic, because I think they have struggled a lot with their previous few gun rounds to get control and then hit a site in a good position. Of course, having said that, the last time they got near a site, they got absolutely mowed down by Shush, didn't they? Yeah, that transpires again. Good flashbang. Dexter out of play. As fnatic sees some mid control. Look at this move, Heroic deciding to lean 4 players on the A portion of the map.
There's a lot of quiet control here for Heroic. Still maintaining eyes on short. Tesses this forward position on long as well. And they won't flash to clear this. They will try and face check it. Crims doesn't even look the right direction, but let's body trade. Maybe a little trigger discipline could have gone a long way there for Tessus, but Kixen out of the car. Dexter swinging out from CT as well, so even if Kixen missed that first kill, Dexter had him covered. But BlameF has found that kill through mid. It's just about recovering that bomb out at long, and that's looking like it. Well, if there was going to be a way back in, Afro needed that kill. Now that it's not going his way, 30 seconds, it won't be enough time for fnatic to pull this one together.
No, sir.
Yeah, it seemed like they had to audibly make that call. I think 30 seconds, they were still considering it for a second, but...
no, especially when Dex is in pit. There's no hope. No chances. The wheels are starting to fall off this fnatic train. They were up to 4 rounds pretty fast. Find myself. Yeah, it was 4-0.
4-0, yeah.
Yeah, it was 4-0. Ooh, that's a pretty big swing. And of course, 2 of those come off the pistol and then the anti-eco, so it's not been the best gun rounds for fnatic. And again, I think I'd like to see some more pauses, I think.
Sure.
Because at the rate we're going, Rio is falling between their fingers.
And you know, you maybe color in the context of, like you were saying earlier, it is getting late. Long series as well. But you would think final map to continue your road to Intel Extreme Masters Rio, you would actually be using those timeouts where you feel the game's slipping. It's a nice kill from
Dexter the rest of the series.
Yeah.
So much more assertive here on Dust2. Let's see. He's actually going to reposition off long. He's here just in time to post up on mid. And Afro's ready and waiting. They knew Dexter was not holding that position. And look at this, the contact play through mid.
Oh my god.
But do they have time? They do have time to go A, but they need to read this.
Oh god. It is.
God, that was ugly.
Yeah, they were headed on a collision course to the last 2 remaining heroic defenders. And had they not killed them quick, that could have been a disaster. They killed 3 in defensive A, and they were still finishing B.
Funky.
Could have been awful. but it isn't. And so Fnatic are pleased, as are we. Don't want to see them start 4-0 and then just fall flat.
Could be something pacey here. And Afro post, now plays fast down mid. Nerds. Some lead fly his way, but no connections. Kickstand gives short. Uses Molly to buy time for a reposition. Oh, who's that? That's Tezes nearby. Dexter's playing long again. Fnatic need to start using their nades. They've used one grenade.
Yeah. But they'll have more than enough in the tank to issue a double pump on the mid B, or, you know, even re-exec the site if they feel like they've met too much resistance. But they'll have to start deploying that soon if they're hesitant about Heroic still holding on to Molotovs, because they've not got a lot of wiggle room on that clock. Oh, that nade does so much damage. Kicks in, it's perfectly timed. They jump into CT and they lose 2 initially. Even getting up through short is a difficulty. 35 seconds for the remaining Fnatic members to pull this one together. Kixon finally dealt with, but there's another where that came from. And the nade on the rotate from Nerds. Catches body. It's Afro to try and clutch back. A flick that goes amiss. That bomb is still too far away, and Shush will seal it. A 7-5 advantage here on the final map. Let's see how things go in the second half after the break.
One half to go. Bit of a marathon series, but now we're at the business end. Winner faces Falcons for Rio. Loser goes home despondent after putting in so much work over the last 2 days. Heroic, a slim lead, but they're on the favored side. And Dexter is here.
A request we've had all qualifier long. And yeah, rearing his head when they face elimination. See whether or not he can actually get impact on this T side as well. Or will it even be deemed necessary? This is a good call for Heroic. Going up towards short, they were starting to gravitate towards more B lean on fnatic. But that one shot from Dexter has called body back in. In B smoke, a flash, body will turn his attention in CT. So Mattis has to hold this line, but it's a quick back and forth. They're going to actually isolate body, and now they're down onto that CT ramp with Mattis down. It does come down to long retention, but they can get that plant safely, and Dexter can re-link up back short, courtesy the boxes that let him quick boost.
Time's in Heroic's favor. HP bars are not. So let's keep tabs on those. fnatic need to go. It is a good plant for short. And Kixan is in a very important position here with Gandalf. He is cleared though. Where's the trade from short? Too late. Too late. They've handed this round to fnatic surely at this point. Just has so much to do. He almost killed Crims. That would have been unbelievable.
He actually hit the headshot, yeah, and they didn't have kits, so if Crims died on that defuse, the round was done. Had he had the P250, that's a whole different story. Damn, just like that, the gap is likely to be closed. We'll see the force buy from Heroic into the second round. Of course, they can get that scout out, a lot of Galils alongside it. They will be very light on utility. They come in with 3 smokes, 1 immediately deployed towards those mid doors. They'll try and make use of just the 1 flash. They're trying to cross with distance. It's walking through the smoke, and it's a little slow for the reaction. Flame does get the better end of the duel. It's hard to force fnatic into feeling uncomfortable with as little util as this. There's a lot of respect being given over by fnatic, though. Jiggling, no one really committing to fights. See Matters with the smoke ready. A couple of shots that will take the attention of Crims as well as Mattis on this site. They are approaching that ramp.
Is this T-side going? I mean, they're just sort of giving up.
Yeah,
they're respecting the smoke. They need to disrespect the smokes and just go for it. This is no man's land.
Well, it's because Kixan was cooking up something inside of CT, but Blameoff is not running straight through this smoke. Oh my goodness. Well, Kixan, this should be a free kill, but action is still happening towards this B bomb site, and Kixan gets the double, and so Dexter's gonna try to reroute back over towards A. He should be able to do it as well. Crims won't be in time. They're there in time to cut them off, but he could have done damage as they went up the ramp. I just don't know if he's gonna be able to scale up into the site in time. He gets the plant. Oh my goodness. I thought Kixan had overcooked, but he gets those 2 kills through spawn, and the round is on. Crims is not healthy for this retake either.
That plant would not have happened without the change. How are fnatic in this position? The round was on a platter, unlosable on the defense. Blameoff butts head with his adversary, doesn't see him. 2 fast kills in CT, and wow, Heroic have just snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. They've broken fnatic's money. Look at the cash. They've got no loss bonus. It has to be a full force buy. That's a disaster of the highest proportion.
And I eat my words. I thought there was no way Heroic could make them uncomfortable with the util they had, and lo and behold, Kixon just one step ahead. He has had some outrageous plays in this close qualifier. Like, the way that he has played and the moves that he is making, some of them have just been game-defining. Something that will be hard to show up on the stat sheet, but he has had some crazy impact in some not-so-conventional ways.
I think whoever loses this series will not sleep well tonight. It has been a brawl. So many moments, rounds, and ultimately some of them become the match of teetered on. Nerds has space. He's creeping. Crims. The lone B defender, Matties is gone. And they're choosing the right direction, aren't they? Even if Crims can find a couple. He will not anyway, but that was all too easy. Plenty of players alive too. Money should be good here for Heroic. And this force buy has achieved zilch for the defense.
All you hope is that they don't make the same mistake they did on Mirage, where they tried to hunt Afro's scout. And it did cost them quite a lot, economically. Everyone is within one tag territory of losing their weapon. I think if Afro knew just how low everybody was, he may have considered this, but sadly will not be the case.
Heroic are pretty close now to winning this. This one will have to be a full eco. They've got money. I dare say fnatic really should pause before the next gun round, because I mean, even their buy won't be perfect, will it? They'll have to sack head armor, you'd have thought. To try and muster as many nades as possible. And in a game like this, a game of inches, every kill's going to matter. They need to do damage on even a round like this. They need to limit this economy. They can't face too many gun rounds. Be too much to brunt. We need some frags. We need to limit Heroic.
It will be a tough task. Again, one of the things we've highlighted as, I guess, a gap in Heroic is maybe sometimes the absence of an AWP. And Dexter hasn't had the chance to really show that off here on this T side as of yet, but I mean, there is no player that is, you know, missing massive opportunities in the same way that has been prevalent in some of the previous maps in this series. Can't even really say the same for fnatic, but the magic has really been more so in favor of Heroic. They have
I think you could make a quite credible case that, given at least Blame F's stats recently, he hasn't been that level of factor in this series.
Sure. But it was Mattis and Body in the first map. Second wasn't too great, and yeah, no one's really leaping off the page here on Dust2.
This feels like Heroic, after a very hard-fought first half, have just started to stabilise. They don't actually need to hunt this Deagle. There's actually no reason. There's no right to being saved. Either way, 4 alive. Cash is tremendous. Absolutely tremendous for this T side. And, well, we're reaching do or die territory for every gun round now for fnatic. This has to work.
Want to see Afro get active. We can put all our attention onto Dexter, but Afro has been the better AWPer this series. It's a shame for all these different elements here for Fnatic to just go missing here on the final map. Tessis, 1-for-1. Body does get a trade at the very least. But they are gambling more for these extremities. Fighting more for long in the double push into the upper tunnels for Fnatic. Mid-B smoke, though, may pull and separate these players in those tunnels. They'll continue their adventure together. There is a crunch that Heroic have to beat on timing. They have to get into this site and set up into after plants before the flank on short can happen. And that Molotov will do very well to stall for time. Mattis going ahead of it. Nerds will gun the first, and Crims does trade, so they know their backs are vulnerable. Shush is 3 HP, and there is nowhere to hide if you're Heroic. You have to fight your way out of this. No safe havens. Smoke's down, and they are trading good, but Afro just gets completely obliterated, and Crims will answer back, but Kixen fighting out in the open. It's just a slaughter of trades back and forth. But Heroic squeak through there, finding themselves with a 5-round advantage.
Like a mud fight there at the end. That kill from Shush, impactful is a tremendous understatement to describe that kill. That is series defining. And Fnatic, look at them. The best they can muster is a half buy, and it's a pretty weak one of that. Heroic have a huge opportunity now. They can just hold their nerve to creep up to 12, have 6 series points with so many buys behind them. They'd have a, you know, something like a 95% chance of winning the series at that point.
Yeah.
Just got to hold their nerve now, communicate well. Stay on the same page. Even if you run into a stack, doesn't really matter on long on Dust 2. You just need to hold your nerve.
This would be a miracle for Fnatic to win this round. Half investment. Body is somewhat having to face check long. He's got this flash primed, and with that smoke on the long cross, Body gets his gun drawn, but he won't make use of that flash whatsoever. Shush. Immediate entry, Blame through the smoke. Does backstab. So it's still a 3-on-3. Trying to stall for time as well is Kixan. Doesn't want to transit with that bomb. Crims a real chance on that Deeg, but even though Tessis was not aware, he was still mobile. Tough shot to hit. Mattis trying to creep forward, and they may have gotten a little close. It may have gotten a little hairy, but Heroic, the better guns, some good trading, and they'll have 6 shots to get that game against the Falcons.
So important that Kixan doesn't get overzealous. He was so alone on that site with the bomb. But he waits. Lets Nerds flank. Brings Dexter into play. And they've allotted themselves so many chances. Tez is going to run with a Mac 10. You can just buy an AK, brother. Oh, that is not a good start, is it? Dexter saved his best for last here in this qualifier. Where has this man been for the last 2 days? He is proving a point here on Dust 2. Fnatic from a deficit now. See defeat rearing its ugly head. What can they do to avert it?
Ooh, okay. I got scared there for a moment. Notes just had knife drawn. I think his mouse might be having... Oh, no. It is really deliberating. Push, upper tunnels, Kixan. A 1-for-1. But they were already at a man advantage, so... Still not good news here for Fnatic. Body, though, goes uncleared out at long. Shush as well won't clear up close. It's Blame F that has the whole round at the palm of his hands. He sees the bomb, but they go out and check it, and the flash almost catching Blame F. That could have been disastrous. That was the way back into the round, and Blame F has delivered. It's Tessis on this interesting Mac 10, given he has 12.5k, and he gets nothing for his troubles.
Why on earth is the second man clearing that? Can't believe that. Interesting.
I think he just glanced at Pit just in case.
Yeah, it could be right. Okay, so pause here for Heroic. I like this. You know, take every gun round one at a time. They'll feel a bit hard done by. They had a very clean entry on Dexter there. Very clean entry. Couldn't get it done. Blame F. Trigger discipline comes good. And fnatic have gone for a double AWP setup. They scooped one off the ground. See where they disperse those. I'd assume it's going to be either long or car on A. Maybe short. And then one more B-centric. Maybe starting towards mid and then falling. Maybe window or back sight. Back plat, that is, on B. We'll see.
Yeah, kind of regardless of what they do, they don't have long spawns on either of those AWPs, so very difficult for them to take that long phase. Ooh, wow. The jump across there from Crims. He's punished for that action. Down to 8 HP. He's trying to set up for an easier frag for his CT AWPer, but there's action happening all over towards long. Body does get himself close to the blue bin, and they are none the wiser. They don't even consider it. It was knife drawn there from Shush. The Body doesn't get away with more than just that one. A blame AWP. Not seeing too much of it. Hoping it's the right choice. Oh my goodness, that smoke is awkward. Dexter sees, and Blame knows not to hang around in a car. Would have been mollied out, would have been forced to fight Dexter. Still a very late lurk from Tessus. I mean, he's holding through suicide, and oh, I thought he'd catch the timing. Matthews was starting to mantle into short. But sure, these guys are walking wounded, but they have a man up. Yeah, I should know it's an A-side attack. Crims has taken over the tunnels. Oops, are here. Bad time to pull a molly. Afro gave up his angle. A chance there for Dexter as well. Afro is ill-prepared. Nade up, but Kixon's found the entry, and Afro has to be pinpoint precise. He loses Matties as support, and Nert's there. It's Crims on that 8 HP, and then he started this round with journeying into the B bomb site to try and keep fnatic in this. But Heroic have every advantage. They just need that plant, and they will punch it in.
Crims has won some impossible clutches in his career. And he'll have to add another to make this possible. Can't find Dexter. It is Heroic. A very clean performance. Very well deserved. They played their best map of Counter-Strike in this qualifier, in this game of Dust2. That was phenomenal. And of course, Dexter picked a good time.